Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Brief.
The United States peace team seems to be dragging its heels as time ticks towards the Israeli Prime Minister's promise to extend the country's sovereignty over parts of Judea and Samaria unilaterally. The focus now on the so-called unity government, which the Trump administration says must be united before it will back Benjamin Netanyahu's intention to make the move as soon as July. But if he wants any chance of United States support, the premier's focus will need to be on coalition partner and defense minister Benny Gantz and foreign minister Gabi Ashkenazi to get them on board with a unilateral move. Gantz has repeatedly said that he will seek to implement America's Peace for Prosperity outline for annexations, only with the involvement of other affected parties. So, with the pressure on, reports the defense minister could now be off to Jordan amidst rising tensions between Jerusalem and Amman. And as far as pushback tactics by the Palestinian Authority, Ramallah is reportedly considering serious budget and welfare cuts to Gaza, hoping that limiting civil services will force Israel to retreat from its plans. But internally, as the old trope goes, 9 million people, 9 billion opinions. Netanyahu is contending with divided Jewish settlement heads, some staunchly opposing the United States peace plan and its promise to eventually create a Palestinian state. And among the population, left-wing protesters waving Palestinian flags in Rabin Square, and caught on surveillance footage, extreme right-wing settlers vandalizing Palestinian property in the West Bank. Masks are coming off by the thousands, and Israelis are looking forward to the light at the end of the coronavirus tunnel. But the health ministry says that it's too soon to relax, ramping up warnings of a nasty second wave of infections, predicting that 5,000 people may soon end up on ventilators. In light of this, the government's new coronavirus cabinet announcing that it's pulling the brakes on easing many restrictions, like reopening train lines that were set to restart this week. This as Israel reports a surge of 228 new COVID-19 patients overnight, the highest 24-hour jump since late April. That brings the total active cases in Israel up to 2,652, 29 of whom are in serious condition. The death toll holding just shy of 300. Again, though, health officials are mostly attributing the jump in numbers to reopening schools. 135 have already closed due to the new infections. 63 are set to reopen in the coming days. Disappointingly, Israel's ranking as the safest place to be during the pandemic has also dropped, the Jewish state falling from first to third place out of 200 nations surveyed by the Hong Kong-based Deep Knowledge Group. That said, the reason for the drop has less to do with Israel's response to the pandemic's spread, and more to do with Germany and Switzerland being better economically prepared. Photosynthesis, the process of how plants produce energy and oxygen. It's a fact that nearly everyone remembers from high school biology, and it's the same process on which today's solar panel tech is based. But Israeli scientists now believe that they can take this process one giant step further by programming plants to produce renewable energy. A recently published Tel Aviv University study now suggesting that basically any and every plant can be transformed into an electrical source, which can then be taught to produce a wide variety of fuels like ammonia and hydrogen. Speaking to Israeli media, lead study researcher from TAU Iftach Yacobi explains that this opens the door to a new field of agriculture equivalent to wheat or corn production for food security, but for generating energy, especially in light of how generating hydrogen and ammonia today relies on the use of fossil fuels. But all that said, Yacobi says that it'll be years before these results are up to commercial use standards. The study, conducted in partnership with the University of Arizona, was published in April in the Scientific Journal of Energy and Environmental Science of the Royal Society of Chemistry in the UK.
That's all for now, but for more news from Israel, remember to like ILTV on Facebook and on Instagram, and to subscribe to us on YouTube. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.